T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lugs.
I'm J-Boy. Yes.
I'm T-Dog.
Yes, sir. This is sports and other stuff. You know, you give us 20 minutes and we'll give you the world. Well, maybe indigestion. I don't know. Fellas, NFL Week 15. Prediction. Urban Meyer will never coach again. Think about it. Brady and the Bucs are struggling. The Lions win their second game, and T-Dog, you called it. Looks like the Colts are in the playoffs. Playoffs? So, Lugs, T-Dog, good to see you boys. T-Dog, Lugs, go ahead and get us started. Let's get going.
Well, let's just say happy holidays.
Yeah, let's do that.
The Saints have the Bucs number. I mean, I have never witnessed Tom Brady not being able to score a point. So I was just kind of flabbergasted about that. So that's my initial take on that. But they were without some serious offensive talent, and the whole league with the COVID protocol. I think they were thinking about canceling some games, and they did do some weird things with Tuesday, Saturday games. So that's my initial thought.
T-Dog.
I guess to start off with the Bucs Saints, Lugs is right. The last time I believe a Tom Brady led team was goose egg was back in 2006. Wow. So it has been a while. A big part of that reason why being a guy who is criminally underrated in terms of let's put it this way, he's gonna get into the Hall of Fame, and people are like, who? I guess casual fans, I'm not gonna say, is Cameron Jordan. He dominated. He had 2 sacks. He had a forced fumble on a drive in the game where it looked like the Bucs were gonna score. He forced Brady to fumble the ball, and Marshawn Lattimore recovered it. And the other guy I really wanted to point out, who is a difference maker, again, not a big name, definitely a lesser name than Cameron Jordan, Marquise Callaway, wide receiver. He had over 112 yards receiving, but 2 of his huge catches set up 2 of the 3 field goals kicked by the Saints. So he came up huge for him. Like Lug said, the Bucs, the Saints own the Bucs, at least having their number. But this was even in the larger retrospect, this is huge for them because Godwin's out for the year with ACL injury.
Yeah,
Evans
what about that?
Fournette's IR'd. Ronald Jones is talented, so the Fournette one, even though it is a downgrade to an extent, Ronald Jones will be able to replace Fournette. But it's so bad that they're bringing back Antonio Brown
and Le'Veon Bell
and Arians. And Arians, someone threw it in Arians' face that when they were bringing him in, he's like, if he screws up one more time, he's like, he's out of this team. And they brought up that they're bringing him back after he essentially committed a federal offense,
right,
and having a fake vaccination card. And I forget the phrase, but he's just like, I'm allowed to make adjustments on my assessments. It's like, that's a nice way to say, don't ever believe anything I say.
Oh man,
which is a coach. So I guess that's fair. But yeah, if you like looking at it, they are not in the driver's seat. Not that they were anyway, but they could have gained ground against Arizona. Obviously, they didn't, and now the Packers have taken a step to secure the number 1 overall seed. And even if Bucs fans are like, well, we beat them again, Godwin's not going to be available. Even if Evans plays in a few weeks, I don't know if he's going to be 100%.
Prediction I heard today was he'll miss the last 3 games. Fournette and Evans both.
It's going to be tough, even if they're coming back. Because, depending on the severity of the hamstring injury, I guess with Evans, to act like, oh, he's going to be the Evans of old, like this year, I don't know. So,
yep.
And I just think, they had such luck with injuries last year that they're not this year.
Yeah, it's one of those times when Tom Brady looked pedestrian at best just because he didn't have any weapons. And the offensive line wasn't doing a very good job. I mean, it was just one of those games. But like I said before, the Saints just seemed to know what to do. I mean, Sean Payton wasn't there on COVID protocol. So interesting game. My vote for a slap in the face. Somebody's got to slap John Harbaugh. Come on, baby. I mean, 2 games, he goes for that 2-point nonsense.
Yeah, he did.
No, you don't do that. You go ahead and extend that game. At least, I don't know, especially this last game when that kid, Huntley, I mean, come on. He gets him down there. It just made me a little crazy.
I don't have as much beef with the attempt to do it. It was the call of the play. It was a horrible rollout and let the defense stack up right on Andrew.
Right. I mean, as soon as you go to one side or the other, you're cutting the field in half. They can just flood it. The defense can.
I mean, to be fair to the Ravens, obviously all Green Bay decided not to cover Mark Andrews. So they thought maybe one more play they didn't. But unfortunately, Green Bay finally was looking at the film and was like, wait a minute, Mark Andrews has 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
He's like the only guy he's thrown to.
Who's that?
Let's stop that guy.
Yeah.
But I agree with Lugs. Like I said, I defended him against the Steelers because he was saying obviously they didn't have enough corners at the end of the game, and I get the roll of the dice, and and also you have Lamar, and even though Huntley has played really well, he is your backup quarterback, so maybe you don't have as much confidence in him as you should have in a Lamar at this point. I don't agree with this one just because they definitely at the end of the game had more of the momentum. I know that's kind of a moot point to a degree against Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is so good. But here's the thing. I mean, if they go to overtime, there's a chance they win the toss and they get the ball. And again, I was going to say this, even though the Green Bay Packers are currently in position to be the number 1 seed in the NFC East, the last 2 weeks, you look at the points they've given up to 2 offenses that have really struggled scoring points in Chicago and Baltimore. I think it's a big question mark for a team that is now asserting itself as number 1 seed. That's what I find kind of interesting. It's like they're positioning themselves in better, but like these last 2 weeks have been huge marks, I think, against Green Bay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think their capital has gone down, but I do think that Rodgers still, I mean, he brings them what they need. It just makes me crazy a little bit when you go for 2 points at the very end of the game.
I'll wrap up on this one and actually use that as a transition to the other game. At this point, would you all agree now with what happened to Brady and it was out of his possibility? Aaron Rodgers is now in the driver's seat to be MVP again, right?
I'm going to vote on that because I think of his personal with the COVID and all. I'm going to say
they hold against him.
Yeah, and I think Jonathan Taylor's got a shot. I'll throw that out there for you.
Oh, that's true. That's true. What about you?
Now, for me, Cooper Kupp with the Rams, because of the lengthened season, he could become the first receiver with 2,000 yards. I think he's got a little bit of a shot.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I was going to use your point in terms of rolling the dice. Speaking of a team that rolls the dice a lot, and again, I love this team. I love this coach, but I know it's easy to kill with hindsight with the Chargers.
Yep.
The Chargers.
Oh, man.
If they would have just settled for a few field goals early, they win that game.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if that was analytics or what played into those decisions, but it was like, you guys, I just wanted to scream a couple of times at those. Yeah. I think that really hurt the Chargers.
Yes.
They went only 2 of 5 on 4th down. So 3 times on 4th down, they did not convert. And in a lot of those, they were in field. I think all of them were like in field goal range for the most part, or most of them were. So it killed them. Again, great win for the Chiefs. They stay hot.
Yep.
Again, it's funny. again, it's a team like Green Bay where they're marking their dominance, but I still look at that game and I worry because obviously Kelsey and Tyreek Hill had great games. They combined for 339 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. But this is the same problem they've had all year, and that they're top heavy. They rely so much on those two people, and no one else has stepped up. That I feel in the playoffs, certain teams will be able to focus on shutting down one person, and they should have at least one guy on defense that's talented enough to slow down and contain the other one, so they don't have another option. So I think it is a problem for them going forward still that they haven't found another way. It definitely felt like they were working the short and intermediate a lot more. So that looks like they progressed in that way in terms of adjusting to what teams are doing, but still it feels like they're just too reliant on two people.
Right. And those two guys, COVID protocol for this week, right? So
yes.
unless they get 2 positive or 2 negative tests in a row. So I don't know. I tell you, the team that I am just amazed by are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
With virtually no offense. I mean, they hang around and hang around. Mike Tomlin must be the greatest motivator of bad offensive players in the world. I'm amazed by that.
And, I was watching that Browns game. Now, admittedly, I was on a small TV in my garage, and, it's lost one of the tubes in the gun. But, Lugs, was that you as the quarterback? Because, Mayfield was out and Case Keenum was out with COVID. And I think, was that you? I know you had some eligibility left. Wasn't that you lacing up, man? Come on.
I didn't.
Gosh,
yeah,
what is going on?
Crazy.
Running out of players on some of these teams.
Right. And, with the Steelers, they'll play the Ravens, and the Ravens just look, I don't know.
Average.
Yeah, and maybe Lamar will be back, maybe not. I like that Huntley kid, so, but my money probably in that game would be on Pittsburgh, just because they're fantastic finishes that just seem improbable, but still they happen.
Yeah, don't think they'll make the playoffs, though. Do you, T-Dog? Steelers?
No, I think I don't think they will. If they do, they'll get eliminated quickly. It's just that I'm trying to think of the best story. It feels like they start getting going with 3 minutes left in the third. They start generating some offense. Before that, it's like 2 quarters and it's like 12 minutes of just 3 and out or a first down and punt. Roethlisberger is completely at his end. I mean, he threw for 133 yards. They rushed for 35 yards. They won the game.
It's crazy.
They won the game.
They won the game.
Yep.
It's again, it's one of those things where you can't be like a win is a win is a win. But I mean, even I think Pittsburgh fans, like, they smile just slightly, but they realize they're toast. I mean, the Ravens to a degree are toast. I mean, you look at the rest of their schedule.
I think you're right.
They got the Bengals this week.
Yep.
I mean, it pains me because obviously Browns fans deserve to make the playoffs for 2 years in a row, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like they're cooked. They're going against Green Bay this week.
Yeah.
So they're going to lose another one. So it feels like definitely this week, Cincinnati can really assert itself and put itself in the driver's seat to win the division this week.
Agreed.
Put itself. So.
Yep. Okay, move over to the Colts. How about those Colts?
You want to go first, Luke? I was just going to say, I poo-pooed the Colts all season. I'll give them, they're hanging around, and Wentz has not made, as many bonehead mistakes as he's capable in my view. But, I think they've got a real shot.
Wait, do you owe somebody a biscuit on that or what? Am I thinking?
He owes me a biscuit.
We'll have to get one of those, whatever, Egg McMuffins even on that deal. So
Oh, I was gonna get him some nice biscuits down at Toast, and this guy's gonna take me to